There we go. Oh, where's my... There we go. Okay, hey, I couldn't hear myself. From Good Morning Business Athlete Nation. There's the morning alarm clock. Keith Bilous, C. Marty, Fit, John Anderson, and of course, producer Christina joining the show here this morning. Good morning to all of you tuning in here first thing this morning here in the lab. We are here to talk about tips to get your day started. If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, somebody getting started in business, maybe you got an awesome job you love. You're like, oh, I need to get my day started, but I don't know how to get my day started. I need to learn about habit stacking. I need fitness tips, business tips. I need some momentum to get myself going. Well, this is the show. This is the right show for you. Yeah, our reason, listen, every good business solves a problem. The problem we're solving is to help you get your ass out of bed. That's it. We are that anti-snooze button. So if you're laying there, you got your phone in your hand, you got your habits started, you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do today, Uncle Keith? What am I going to do today, Mr. Bilous? What am I going to do today, Keith? I'll know what you're going to do. You're going to get your ass going. You're going to get your ass going. You're going to move. You know why you're going to move? It's August 15th today, nation. It is August 15th today. And what does that mean? What does that mean to you? I'll tell you what it means. Oh, I'll tell you what it means, like a musical mirrors. It means there's 2 weeks left in August. And then school's back. And then we're into the old lovely September. And then just around the corner is October. And what does that mean? Last quarter of the year. And oh, if you've been tuning into the show for a while, you know that June just passed, January resolutions. We're closer to 2025 than we are to the beginning of 2024. So why the urgency, you ask? I'll tell you why. It's time to fucking get going. Yeah, it's time. Oh, the energy's up. I got 25 kilometers on the bike this morning. Did a little bit of a warm-up. I got a lift coming in after this. The energy is high. I'm going to put some energy in and throw it out to you guys here this morning because we want to help you get those big, audacious goals completed. And the best way to do that is to get yourself going. Nation, it's Thursday. By the time you get next week started, the month is almost over. I cannot tell you strong enough. It's time to freaking go. If you got goals, looking at your numbers, I'm telling you, I'm going to repeat myself again. You got to get going here. That's why pretend it's already September 15th. You know, a month ago, Marty was here. It was a month ago that Marty was in the lab with me. A month has gone by. Numbers have gone up. Business has gone up. And a month from now, you know, it's going to keep doing this. But we got to stay focused. So I'm inviting you, Business Athlete Nation, to be thinking about January 1st. Be thinking about December 1st. Because I'll tell you, the month of December is somewhat gone. Once we get into holidays and Christmas and every other holiday under the sun, Hanukkah and so forth in January and December, I'm telling you, December is off the window. So you actually have, nation, you actually have maybe a few months left of work to go and drive revenue. Who's making decisions in December? Who's making decisions December 15th? Who's opening their wallets December 12th? You take December off the plate, you got October, you got November. So I'm not trying to rain on your parade here today. I'm just trying to remind you during my opening monologue here, it's time to get your ass going. Isn't that true, C. Marty Fit? It is time to get the ass going, man. All right. Speaking of ass, I said to John Anderson this morning, Marty, we want to see pictures of the bear in the woods.
Come on, Marty. The bear didn't keep me awake last night.
Christina, get your fellow Canadian.
Marty, don't give me that look.
Christina, get your fellow Canadian.
All right, let's bring producer Christina on the stage here. Christina, come on.
No, Christina, it's so bad. It's so bad.
Is it getting worse, Marty?
No, that was the worst one.
Well, you got to admit the joke was pretty good last night. So I got to share the joke with the nation last night. So
did you tell her what you said?
I was going to bed last night. I sent a note to John and Marty. I said, John, we want to see a picture of the bear, but not a picture of your bare ass. So I got up this morning with. But hey, Christina, you you agreed to join me. I said, would you like to join? And you said, sure.
And I question my decision every day. But, here we are.
Oh my goodness. We are hanging out with John. So I got it. So we know we have a couple of second delay. So we'll ask the question and then we're going to wait for the response. Good morning to everybody in the feeds here, hanging out here this morning. So Johnny, I need a bear update, man. How was the night last night with the bear?
Last night was actually really good. I didn't have the same interruptions I had the night before. I think the day before I made enough of a stink that she decided she was going to go to a easier cabin. She was going for some lower hanging fruit. So I actually slept really well last night. Oh man, that's a long delay.
So did she go and knock on Terry's door then?
I don't know. She hasn't woke up yet, so I'll find out when she wakes up.
I don't know if I heard any of that, but I could see Marty laughing. So I don't know if it's. Yeah. That's a long delay. Hey, so those of you tuning in here this morning on the. Oh, you're joining Keith, Bilous, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson up there in the top left corner, hanging out with us, joining us from wonderful Lake Tahoe here. He's on a couple of weeks of not vacation. John Anderson does not vacate. He just goes and changes his location, changes his area of life, and continues on with his habit stacking. Hey, Johnny? That's
Absolutely.
it. That's it.
Why would you want to escape your life? If you got the life you want, don't try to escape it with a vacation. That's it. Yes. And BK, yes, you can ask questions. Please bring questions here to the feed here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson. But if the questions are inappropriate, we're not going to answer them. So yeah, but yes, please ask questions. And I had some media training yesterday from my friend Tina. Yeah, producer Christina's like, I got some things for you guys to consider when the trolls come out. I'm like, oh yeah? She's like, oh yeah. Put the shoulders further out, Bilous. I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, stick the chest out even further, Bilous. I'm like, okay. So Marty, when the trolls come out, man, we got to put the shoulders out and the chest out. Isn't that what you told us, Christina? Just the She's like, no, that's not what I told.
You don't listen.
Yeah, I didn't think she told you that.
You guys are no fun.
Shut the fuck up.
You guys are no fun this morning, man. I looked at the calendar yesterday. I'm looking at the rest of the year. I'm thinking, holy smokes, it's already December. So it's just time to go. Like, it's time to put the foot on the gas. Marty's like, what? Christina's like, what? Hey, speaking of Christina, you guys are out to lunch, man. I'm telling you. You guys need a third cup of coffee this morning. All right, so listen.
I don't know. I don't know if it's us, Keith. I think you had too much coffee.
Carter Jameson, what the F is this? Well, it's a good morning show. It's a show that we start to get your day going. Yeah, and if you really want to look into who I am, just go do a Google search. That's what Christina told me. That's right. Yeah. So I don't have to respond to it. But anyway, your mornings in the lab. We start 8:00 Eastern time. We do a show here to get your day started and so forth. Nah, that's okay, Carter. That's all good. I know you got more important things to do today. I'm here to talk about tips to get your day started. If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, somebody who's looking to get life sorted out, this is the show for you. We're going to get into entrepreneur tips. We're going to wrap up the Arnold's life lessons from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Plus, we're going to take a little later on this morning. Got the creator spotlight coming into the 55-minute mark. We have the Marty Fit tip at the bottom of the hour, and of course, accountability check-in coming up in a few moments. We are also going to talk about producer Christina's big day today. She is let's talk about that right now. Actually, I want to talk about that. So Christina, you have a big day today, Marty, John, that you guys don't know about, that I think we should take a few moments this morning talking about that. So Christina has joined us over the last week to help out with the show, and we're going to shine the light bigger on Christina next week. We're going to feature her on the show and talk more about Christina Flynn and so forth. But today at noon Eastern time, Marty, John, Christina Flynn has a workshop today. And it is the story engine system to discover and share your authentic personal story with the help of AI.
Now, Christina has practical tools and prompts to leverage your personal story as a competitive advantage in your career, tailored for high-performing people facing a career transition. So we're gonna turn the mic on for Christina in a second. But I'm gonna tell you guys, you want to turn into the show. You want to turn into the conversation with Christina at 12 Eastern time. Why? I'll give you the reason why. Recruiters today, 97% of recruiters today are getting AI-generated resumes and CVs. And you know what they're doing, Nation? Throwing them out the window. Like, nah, we don't want that. We don't want a piece of paper. We want to know who you are. We want your personal brand. Give me a 360 view on who you are. Sure, I'll have the CV. Sure, I'll have the paper. But show me all of you. Show me who you are. What's your makeup? What have you done? What have you accomplished? What's your social proof? So today at noon Eastern time, Christina Flynn's probably going to help you do that. Flynn, did I do a good job introducing that?
You did a great job introducing that, actually. That's exactly what I'm going to do. How many times are we stuck in conversations and someone says, what do you do? And you're like, I don't know what I do. And then you end up spewing something that's bullshit, quite frankly. It doesn't do you any justice. How many times does somebody look at one of your accomplishments and is like, no, you've done these amazing things. Holy shit, that's incredible. And you're like, not that big of a deal. Why do they see me in a way that I can't see myself? So when you bring AI into the equation, you get to see yourself the way that other people see you. You get a third-party perspective on who you are, what you're about, and then you can begin to articulate that to people so that they get to understand you.
Yes, exactly. So what do you expect to gain out of today's workshop, Christina? Or maybe not necessarily yourself. What would the participants showing up expect to gain by the end of that workshop with you today, Christina?
So it's a couple things. The first is really understand why your personal story is important. That's not something that everyone knows. And understand what story is and what story is not. A lot of people think that story is showing up as your most vulnerable self, giving everyone 100% of you. No, it's not. You don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk about. You want to talk about the things that are going to resonate with the people you're chatting with. The second is really, I like to talk to people about the neuroscience behind it. This isn't my opinion.
Yeah.
This is neuroscience. If you want to connect with people in a different way, you want to evoke emotion, you want them to connect with you, story does that. It elevates different levels in our brain. And then the third thing is really, I want people to have the practical steps and tips, the exact prompts that I use with my clients so that they can go off and do this on their own. Not everyone is going to be able to work one-on-one with me. I want people to still be able to do this work. It's critically important. So that's what you're going to get from today.
That's exceptional. And Christina, what are you most looking forward to today's workshop? And then Marty, I'm going to throw a question to you for Christina. What are you looking forward to today about today's workshop, Christina?
I love the ahas. I love when people aren't that familiar with AI, or maybe they've used it for content writing and they come into a session, they never really thought about using it for something like self-reflection or story discovery. And I show them what it looks like if I'm doing it myself or how they can do it. And they see it on the screen of how accurate it is and how easy it is for them to get that same information.
Yeah, that's exceptional. Marty.
What made you want to use AI, and what made you become, I guess, proficient in it? What made you become not an expert, but very comfortable teaching it to others? What was that moment for you?
For me, it was I fucked up. I had built a brand in Web3 and NFTs, and I spent a lot of time and a lot of energy. I thought I was doing really well. I got to a decent follower count. And then the bull market went bare really quickly. The platform, Elon bought it. The algorithm changed. My client budgets dried up. And all of a sudden I realized I had built this brand based on a character and not me. And so my thesis is that had I based that brand on me, people would have come with me. I could have shifted and transitioned into talking about other things. And I wouldn't have done all that work for nothing. But I didn't know how to figure out who I was. And so I went to the most feasible and affordable thing to do that. No therapy, just say, I need you to help me. Who am I? And why am I unique? And why am I different?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing that vulnerability, Christina, that you looked back and going, yeah, I effed up. I messed this up. And John, I know you're listening in there. I'm going to throw the question to you if you got a question for Christina here. And while I'm throwing that to you, good morning, Enzo. Good to hear this morning, pal. Always love to have you on the show.
Up, Enzo?
Big fan of you, my friend. Good to have you there in the future. But Johnny, you're listening to Christina speaking as we're getting to know her. Well, what comes to mind for you, John?
I love the fact that she's talking about these moments where she's helping people, these oh my God moments. I think that's amazing. myself and my coach, I call it my holy shits. I want my holy shits. I want when my clients say, holy shit, they have a breakthrough. So I love the fact that she's focused on that as part of her, I guess, gauge of success. Because when you change people's lives, everything you're looking for shows up.
You're hanging out with Mornings in the Lab in the Catholic Church here. Holy shits everywhere. Subscribe to the Ultimate Morning Show at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I was waiting for Marty to get that one. With John Anderson, Keith Bilous, Christina Flynn dropping the kid. So Christina's my writer, if we all know that. That's why I brought her on the show. And she's quickly going to quickly mute me on this one. But you're on the morning show here, 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday. We help you guys get your ass out of bed and get going in the morning. And some wise knowledge drop from John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, and of course, producer Christina. She's got a workshop coming up today. If you are looking to build a personal brand, Business Athlete Nation, I invite you. Tune into Christina Flynn's workshop today, coming up at noon Eastern time. You can find her on LinkedIn. If you want to connect with her, connect with me, connect with Flynn, Marty, Johnny. You'll connect with her on LinkedIn and get her get into that workshop. So, Jimmy, let's get into this part of the show. I got to get the jokes off because they're all going to kick me off the show if I don't stop getting off the script, probably. So, yeah, Marty's just. Oh, yes, yes, yes. All right, guys, here's where it's going to go today. You can think those positive thoughts all day like I have. I got up on a positive side of the bed, big time. You can believe in yourself more than anyone else. But if you don't take action, here's the reality. Nothing's going to change. And that's why I called attention to the date today. I'm giving you lots of tips, lots of warnings. The time is coming. Oh, yeah, September's here. December's here. January's around the corner. So you can believe in yourself all you want. But if you don't take action, if you just write stuff down on a piece of paper, if you sit back and make websites because that's how you're going to grow your business, nothing's going to change. That mindset you have, it's going to set the direction. That attitude you have, the attitude that I'm showing today, it's going to fuel the journey. That self-belief. Oh, that self-belief you have. That self-belief that Christina Flynn has getting on stage today to share her story of how she messed up her brand. It was like, oh, I got to do something about it. That self-belief gives you the courage, but only action like Christina's taken today. She doesn't sit around and talk about it. She doesn't go, oh, I messed up my brand. I'm not going to do nothing about it. Sit in the corner and pout. No, she's like, fuck that, man. I'm going to take action because I know if I take action, that's how I'm going to move forward. So she could have sat around and waited for the perfect moment. Many of you right now are waiting for the perfect. You're laying in bed right now going, no, I'm just going to hit the snooze button one more time. No, I'm going to wait till next week. No, I'm going to focus on my website. Damn it. There is no perfect moment. It doesn't exist. There's no thing as a perfect moment. Start messy. Start small. Build the airplane while you fly it. But I'm telling you, nation, I'm telling you, Business Athlete Nation, I'm inviting you to just start. Get your ass out of bed, take a step forward, go pick up something heavy, go put it down, go beat up a bear. Because your next move is going to define your reality. So you got two choices right now as I wrap up this segment. You can sit and be stagnant, or you can get up and move. And that, nation, that move is going to define your reality tomorrow. That's it, Christina. That's that check-in this morning, man. You can feel the energy coming out of me. Yes? Well, you know, somebody's got to crush it because you guys just hanging out with me today. I got to get Anderson back on the better internet because I got Flynn and Marty there are just kind of I think you're just on for a ride here today. Like, what the hell? Anderson, I got to get the old man. I got to get the old man back. Anderson, can you come back to the better internet so I can get the old man train going here, pal? Because we got to keep the young ones up with us, buddy.
It's pretty.
You need your soundbite machine back on the. I got to be back where it's live. It's rather than this 3-second delay. The soundbites don't have the same punching power.
That's it. That is it. Good morning. Who do we got here this morning? We got here in the feeds here, Marty. We have a couple folks coming in this morning. We have
let those go, man.
But I did see one. Real Deal Prime was here, Marty. Off to the gym. See you in the next one. Hey, Real Deal. If you pop in and say hello and go to the gym, that's good enough for me and Marty.
That's good. You checked in. That's
good, right? You checked in with us. You know, our goal here, our ambition is just come check in, come collect the streak.
Right, Johnny, come say hello and then head off to the gym and turn us on in the car along the way. But most importantly, come check in with the streak. That's what we want you to do here on the show. So I appreciate that. And Marty, I will stay out of the rest of the comments for now.
Yeah, just let it go. Let it go.
Hey, we had a poll yesterday, and the question for the poll yesterday was, how often do you feel misunderstood? And the answers we threw out on the table was all the time, often, but I manage, sometimes it depends, and rarely I'm an open book. Christina, what do you think the overwhelming response was for the poll yesterday? How often do you feel misunderstood?
Often.
Marty?
All the time.
Oh, Johnny?
100% all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys do. Yes, everybody on this. That's why we belong on the show together, because everybody misjudges us. We're all like we're the books in the corner of the shop over there. I don't look at John Anderson, look at Marty, look at me, and look at. No, we don't like that book. So we just put us all together here. But the polls came in overwhelmingly 100%. Sometimes it depends. So how often do you feel misunderstood? Our audience is like, sometimes this, sometimes that. So Marty, John,
what does that mean, John?
That means that people need to start getting outside their comfort zone. Stop living that comfortable existence.
Yes.
That's the answer I wanted.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Marty, I had somebody invite me yesterday to do something, and I was like, no. Like, why not? I'm like, because you're all doing it. I'm going to go in a different direction. And the guy's face, when he looked at me, was like, oh. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. You can go do that. And it's funny, Marty. Hey, Johnny, when you're growing up and people are saying, come and do this, and you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, well, but why? It takes a lot of courage to say no, actually, doesn't it?
It does.
You know, when
you say no, you're actually saying yes to the shit that you want to be doing. Say no to what you're not supposed to be doing, which is indirectly saying yes to what you need to do, and you're going to get what you want.
That's it. That's exactly. Oh, we got Mike Quinlan joining us here. A fit presenter. I get by in a second language. Misunderstood the virtue. Good seeing you here, Mike. Hey, Mike, you got to come back to the show here one time, pal. Hey, Christina, we've had Mike on the show a couple times. He is also he's joining us from Peru. He's part of the fitness clan. He's drinking the same Kool-Aid we are. Maybe when we get Matt Freed on the show, we have a Matt Freed, Mike Quinlan, John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, big fitness round table. We'll bring a bunch of guys in and have a good chat with that. So Mike McQuinlan, good to see you here, man. I know I call you Quinlan. I always leave the MC because whatever. I just like to butcher people's names. So I apologize for that, but Mike, good to see you here on the show, man. Hey, Johnny, I got something for you, man. These are for our friends, the younger friends on the show. New research suggests.
Oh, God.
Johnny, Marty, this is a good one, man. You got to pay attention to this one, pal. Because I've gone through one of these moments already, and so has John. And you too. Okay. I'm telling you, Flynn. I'm telling you, Marty. This is coming for you. New research suggests that humans experience two drastic lurches forward in aging. Science revealed this yesterday. One at the average age of 44, and the other at the average age of 60. So now we think as we're aging, it just kind of happens. But science has now determined that at 44, pardon my language, but shit actually changes. Shit goes sideways. I can relate. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that period of time, 44 through 46. John Anderson, remember that? You're like, oh, I'm not 30 anymore. And until you've lived through this, you actually cannot speak to it. So I wanted to put it on the table today because there's truth to this. By the age of 44 and 60, with significant changes in molecules related to metabolism, cardiovascular disease, and dysfunctions in skin and muscle. Christina, the study tracked 108 adults donating biological samples every few months over several years, resulting in more than 246 billion data points, and found that around 81% of all the molecules in their study showed changes during one or both of those stages of life. So the research notes that sure, the sample size is small and future research could help delve into this phenomenon. But the reality is when they looked at the biomarkers among those age groups, that they honed very much into 44 and 60 when things absolutely change for us as human beings. So what's the takeaway from that, Johnny, for Marty and for Flynn? guys, shit's coming. You got to take care of yourself today. John, thoughts on that?
It's all about how you live your life, because those markers, I'm sure that the study is real, but look at the people that are coming up to those age brackets. They're not living their life in a way that's going to allow their bodies to continue to get better or develop, or whatever you call it. So I'm saying that I think that if people chose to live a better lifestyle, those two markers would be less of they wouldn't be so impactful if they live their lifestyle the way they should.
So it's probably hard to argue that, Johnny. It's probably hard to argue that thought statement, right? So you kind of, when I look at this, I wonder what kind of groups of people were studied. Were they just average people, fitness people, where they're at? But the fact of the matter is, those numbers are important, right? Christina, when you hear those numbers, as somebody who's racing towards 44, who's working their way towards 60, young mom, what do you think about those numbers, Christina, when you hear that?
I think it's totally, I can see it. I can see it coming, and it makes sense. I mean, there are these biological moments in life where research has shown that our bodies change. And so getting older and moving towards that, it makes all the sense in the world. I do remember and recall being like, yeah, this doesn't quite feel the same. And it's also reminded me to say, I want to play with my kids. I want to be able to run and race around and have them playing tag with me. I want to be able to get on the ground with them and not say, no, I can't pick you up today. So it's all about your priorities. And if you want to move towards that, then, I mean, use this research or any other research is coming.
That's it. That's exactly it. Marty, what about you, man? You're a healthy young man, fit man. You got a full life ahead of you. You're thinking, I'm not thinking about 44 health. I'm thinking about 60. And I'm speaking to you, Marty, because a lot of people tuning in right now around your age, right? And you're thinking, I'm not really paying attention to these guys. Or are you, Marty?
I would say, I look at it, well, I'm 31 now. So, if I look at 15 years ago, how I felt.
Yeah.
I felt invincible.
Yes.
Right. I still feel like that now, but in order for me to feel invincible now, I got to do meal prep. I got to work out a certain way. I got to build muscle. I got to do cardio. And I'm sure at 44, I'm going to have to add something else to that. Maybe yoga consistently, or I'm going to have to add something to continue to feel like that. And it only makes sense that another 15 years at 60, I'm probably going to have to add something else to that. So I guess you got to work harder to continue to feel great and stay in great shape.
It's interesting to hear you comment, Marty, about yoga or stretching, because it was around 46 around 46 where I'm like, geez, I'm having some, Johnny, I was like, man, I'm having some struggles putting my socks on. Like, you're just touching my toes, those basic things we talk about. So, as we were going into the pandemic and kind of that time in life, I was like, I'm going to start focusing on stretching and my mobility, Christina. And it has been a game changer. I know, Marty, when you and I have been hanging out, it's been a game changer for me. And I know, Marty, you've talked about, the tightness in your body. That's one thing that I have focused on, which is just, my mobility, my agility, my cardiovascular health. Strength to me is, because we all know I'm a bodybuilding fiend over here. So strength's been a really important part of my life. But yeah, I can drop it all I want because Anderson's on the long delay here, so I can just say shit all I want. Because by the time it gets to him, he's like, Bilous is spewing shit over there.
Yeah, John cut you off the first time you said that.
I know.
I felt some type of way.
Hey, Quinlan, yes, say when. Just don't forget it's MC Quinlan. Yeah, the MC, the face that runs the place. Oh, I like that, Quinlan. There you go. You got it, man. Jeez, you're just full of them today. That's fantastic. And Marty, we got Lotus Flower here, of course, this morning, and Lotus jumps in with say hi, everyone. Say no to others and say yes to yourself. Yes, Lotus, you always drink this business athlete Kool-Aid, and I appreciate you. And Lotus, as we said, if you're on your way towards 44 and 60, be thinking about that journey along the way, because you can't stop time. And that was really the theme for me yesterday. Guys, look at the calendar. And I know that we've been talking, so, just to kind of pivot into the behind the scenes of the Business Athlete Performance Lab here, we've invited Christina Flynn into the business here to help us with the creative side of the things, because my attention starts to focus as much on the business side of things. And I'm looking at the calendar yesterday, guys, and I'm going, holy smokes. It's like August 15th today. I'm like, oh my goodness, the fourth quarter is like just over there. Yeah. And I'm thinking, wow, like December is like just on the other side of the mountain.
Yep.
Right. And Marty, you were just here a month ago, and I thought you were here yesterday.
It feels like it.
And John, I'm looking at you, pal.
Does time not go faster when we get older, pal?
Oh my God. Time goes faster as you get older, but more importantly, if you're doing what you really want to do with your life, then it goes really fast.
Oh, yes. I like that because I can live to that, man. I'm so every single day I put in whatever my 16, 18, 20 hours a day into this business that I'm loving every second of it. But John, that is so true, man, because I thought Marty just left yesterday. Marty, I was looking at the video of Carter shot you and I like, hugging when you first arrived here, and I haven't even published that, but I'm going to show that. I'm thinking, oh my God, I thought that was yesterday. I looked at the date. Like, that was like a month ago.
It was a month ago, about 4 weeks.
Like the how fast time goes. So, again, if there's any entrepreneurial tip that I can leave with you guys as we get into that conversation today, time goes fast. Time goes abs. You think hours are fast? Wait till you think about minutes. And then wait till you get old. When you get old like me, John, man, minutes become seconds. I'm telling you, minutes become seconds. All right, Marty, are you ready to do the fit tip, pal?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Okay, we're gonna John P break for you. Tina, we're gonna throw Marty onto the stage. We're gonna do a fit tip, and then we're gonna come back with the main topic: how to start your day like a successful entrepreneur. Fitness and mindset tips. And some of you might be thinking, geez, didn't we just talk about this? Yeah, we did. But that's what we do here on the show. We give you content and ideas to help you get your day started and help you be accountable to get your goals. All right, Marty, let's do this, pal. Boom, boom. There we go.
We got the fitness tip. Let's get into it. All right, staying committed to your fitness goals can be tough, especially when your partner doesn't fully understand or support the importance of working out. Here's how you can keep pushing forward. Communicate clearly. Share with your partner why fitness is vital to you. Explain how it positively impacts your mood, health, and overall well-being. Often understanding your perspective can bridge the gap. Set boundaries. Make it clear that working out is a non-negotiable for you. It's a form of self-care, just like eating well or getting enough sleep. Schedule your workouts like appointments. This shows that it's a priority. Find a compromise. Suggest ways to involve your partner. Maybe they can join you for a light workout, or you can plan your fitness routine around activities you both enjoy. And that can even be as simple as a walk. If that's not possible, ensure your workout time doesn't conflict with significant shared activities. So that's why a lot of people get up at 5 a.m., before the workday starts and the family stuff starts, and get that workout out the way. Stay accountable to yourself. Your goals are your responsibility. Keep reminding yourself why you started and how far you've come. Use your progress as motivation to keep going regardless of external support. Remember, your journey is personal, and your dedication will inspire those around you, even if it takes time. That's the fitness tip for today.
Oh, I like that one, Marty. Good one, man. That's a good one. Yes. Your journey is personal, and the dedication, it's going to inspire those around you, man. And that's
absolutely.
It's that leading by example, isn't it, Marty? That whole idea of leading by example, right? Eventually people are like, well, Marty keeps going. I guess I should, if I want to be like Marty, I guess I should be like Marty, right?
Oh, yeah. And this is something I deal with a lot with clients and their partners not being on board, and how to navigate it and how to communicate. So this is a real subject.
This is a real subject. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So we're going to get into the how to start your day like a successful entrepreneur, fitness and mindset tips. But before we do that, I wanted to just quickly lean into something that I found yesterday, which, John, you and I, kind of talked a little bit for a couple moments on just back and forth on text yesterday. And I wanted to just put something on the table, not really a next step around it, but just a thought for everybody to consider. So we live in a world right now where we judge everything by influence. Oh, Christina has 1 million followers. Oh, John's got a gazillion followers. Or Marty's got a bunch of this, a bunch of that. Has anybody ever asked the question, who's auditing all those followers? Has anybody ever asked the question, how real all those followers are? Just clearing my throat. Has anybody ever asked the question what Uncle Bilous used to do in the olden days? Maybe manage social media companies and platforms and content and audit people's followers and influencers. Yeah. So I'm wondering if we pay so much attention to all these influencers and followers, how much of it is real? Do y'all know you can buy followers on LinkedIn? Do y'all know you can buy instant followers on Instagram? Well, sure, we all know that.
We caught somebody on LinkedIn a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we sure did, didn't we?
Yep.
And here's the thing. As I'm inviting you into this conversation, don't get caught up on what the cover of the book looks like. Don't get caught up on what the numbers underneath the headline looks like. Because I would invite you to ask that person, hey, can I see your followers? How engaged are they? Marty, we've invited many people with massive followings to our show, our live show. Because I don't know about you, Marty. I'm thinking that if you have a large following, people show up, no?
Oh yeah, that's what I would think.
Right? So if you had like 100,000 followers in your network and you did a live show, you'd think that a certain percentage would show up.
Nope.
So I'm just going to throw it out there, nation. As you're building your business and you're building your business of influence, just look around and ask yourself whether it's real. And maybe you ask the question, can I audit your following before you go and hire that next LinkedIn guru to do the work for you? I don't know. Just because they got 2, 3, 4, 500,000 people that allegedly like their content or allegedly follow them, I don't know. How engaged are they? I would invite you to ask those questions. That's all that I'm going to say. And we're going to get into this topic a little more because you know why? I'm a little pissed off about it because I know the reality about it. And I've been thinking about this, Flynn, since yesterday. I know the reality of this world because I lived in it. I built a business on it. And as I'm building my business today, and I left social media 8 years ago because of just personal reasons and all forth. So I come back as a ghost. But as I look around me at all the fakeness everywhere, I'm like, fuck that. All you fakes. All you fucking fakes. Because you are. A lot of you out there are fake. But that's okay. Come to our show, bring the conversation. Let's have real talk. Let's have real talk. Bring your how many followers do I got? I got a couple thousand followers. What's the engagement like? It's through the roof. So ask yourself this. Would you rather have 1 million people in your audience and actually a few people that are really there? Or do you want to have a really high engaged audience? I don't know about you. I'd love to have 1,000 people really highly engaged with my content. A community. Let's talk about this before we go on. Here's how it looks. You got 3 things. You got your audience, thousands and thousands of people that are just hanging out, just dialing in and just, mailing it in. You got your community that might open up the wallet, that might give you some money. Or you really want to work towards building your stands, those ambassadors that are helping build your brand, helping build your business. So I invite you, don't get caught up in the followers. Don't get caught up in the fakeness. A lot of fakeness out there, nation. And in a world of AI generated content, there's only more of it coming. So come back to the show. Come have a live conversation. So, all right. So guys, I just had to get that off my chest, Marty. John, I saw you laughing over there. I felt like I just had to say a few things about it because I just get kind of tired about it from time to time because everybody reverts to that one metric and then nobody can stand on it, John. Nobody can stand on it. It's like, oh yeah. So let me peel the onion back. Oh no, I don't really want to peel the onion back. Right? Christina? Marty? John?
Yeah. I think for me, it's impressions, those kinds of metrics, they're bullshit. Focus on relationship metrics. How are people engaging? What does it look like in the DMs? Followers do not equal money by any means. You need to be building relationships much bigger than that.
Yes. There's a reason TikTok turned on messaging this week in North America. And you're talking to the business guy now. You want to know why? Because they measure engagement through how they share with their network. Likes and follows are fake. It takes a lot of effort to share a message with a network of friends and family. You got to create that. So sure, you can create a bot network and you can do all that, but there's more effort involved. So if you're looking for legitimate engagement, measure your engagement through who's liking your, who's sharing your content around their network. So anyways, we'll get into that conversation at a different time. I just had to get that off my chest because everybody's talking about big numbers that mean nothing. But anyways, how to start your day like a successful entrepreneur. Fitness and mindset tips coming from the lab this morning. Fitness strategies for high performance. Johnny, Marty, I'm going to look at you guys here as we roll into this here. Marty, the power of short, intense workouts. Let's talk about dialing into your day. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a lot of time, man. I don't got 3 hours or 4 hours to get in the gym. John talked yesterday, man. Just get a 5-minute burpee in. Just get down, do some push-ups. Talk about the efficiency over duration. Short, high, intense workouts are more effective than longer sessions. See Marty Fit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're attacking the central nervous system, and then if you're doing a lift, a high intensity lift, you're going to burn a ton of calories, and that's going to be more effective than getting on the treadmill for 20 minutes. Say you had 20 minutes to work out, opposed to doing an intense lift session. And those rest breaks are great, maybe when you're lifting at your max. But if you're doing a 20-minute session, you're probably not going to be lifting at max. So it's better to just elevate that VO2 max, elevate your heart rate, and get on with your day. And it's probably going to wake you up and boost your energy as well in those intense workouts.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Johnny, talk about the mental focus that comes out of a short session. When you make the decision to do a really intense focused session, talk about how that translates into better clarity throughout the day. John Anderson.
Well, there's no question that, when you do some physical exercise, it changes your physiology, gives you a better focus. But I think what we have to realize here, we need to focus when we simplify this. It's not about 5 minutes. It's not about 25 minutes. It's not about an hour. Do you have the balls to show up on the days you're supposed to show up and get the job done?
And that's the question. And as an entrepreneur, John, when we're pulled in so many directions when we get up to start our day, I'm going to suggest, John and Marty, there are times they get pulled in the direction they shouldn't be going, which is to the boardroom, to the office, to the meeting. And what we're inviting you to consider is don't go there yet. Drop down, do some burpees for 5 minutes. Drop down, do some push-ups for 5 minutes. Go for a walk. Put something into your human being first before you go to the boardroom. That's about showing up, isn't it, John Anderson?
Yes, 100%, 100%. And it's about the regularity. It's about the consistency. It's the concept that today's society misses. It's a philosophy, work over time.
Work over time. And studies show, Business Athlete Nation, and we know this as well, but 20, 30 minutes of HIIT can yield the same benefits as a longer endurance workout. But I want to lean into endurance workouts. So I tend to lean into endurance activities throughout the year, because what it does for me on the business side of things is it helps me drive through the difficult days of the long hours of building a business. I've often said to somebody, if you want to go run a business, if you want to start a business, go run a marathon first. Or go and trek a mountain, or go do a bodybuilding competition. Put yourself in a position where you got to grind it out with your body physically for 30, 60, 90, 100 days. Go run a marathon for a couple of hours. That is going to get you prepared for the mental grind of sitting behind a desk, a computer, going into meetings. They're literally one and the same. When I get onto a bike for 2 hours, John, I'm like, oh my God, 2 hours? Or if I get onto the treadmill in a stationary place to go run for an hour, that is a mind fuck more than anything. In my point of view, Marty.
Yeah. I was going to say, too, you got to overcome that bitch voice, too.
Yes.
So, in those endurance workouts, you're going to have so many thoughts, negative thoughts. Maybe I'll do 2 miles instead of 3. Or maybe I could stop. Maybe I could walk for a little bit. You got to overcome that bitch voice. And that's going to help you in the business world as well. Because, like you just said, you could get pulled in any direction.
Yes. Johnny?
What you say to that bitch voice, it's one simple phrase, and you just say, this is going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because that bitch voice is going to try to shut you down. All you got to do is spit something back. It's too much of a pussy to keep fighting. Just, it's going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway, and then get the job moving.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. I love that, man. Yeah. And that's my Friday mornings when I get on the treadmill. John, Marty, I'm like, fuck. All right, bitch voice is talking, and I get on there and I start going, and I'm like, okay, Marty.
Man, you know what? My bitch voice is there at the beginning of every workout. Endurance day, chest day, leg day, especially on leg day. But it's really bad on leg day. But you just got to push through. You just got to get it done.
This is true. Christina, does bitch voice show up in your head when you like to go get a workout in?
I told you. I call her Regina George.
I was just going to say that's Regina.
What do you call her?
Regina.
Regina George. She's up in my business all the time.
That's hilarious.
I think we should all name
and it's easier to tell her to shut up if there's a name to it. forgot Regina. You're good.
We're just going to name our bitch voices, and Christina has her own. Regina, Marty, you're going to have to come up with one. I'll have one. And Johnny, when you get back into a better connection, we're going to get your own bitch voice too. We can name it. So, and we can have some fun with that. But
that'll be funny.
That'll be really good.
I want to know what you're going to say, Keith. I know yours is going to be like.
Guys, I want to, let's talk. So, functional movements for real world strength. John, I want to look at you, pal. The guys you're training, guys that come knock on your door, men, ladies, probably within our demographic, kind of that 40s, 50s, you're talking to them as much about focusing on exercises that mimic activities, daily activities, real world life examples, going up the stairs, bending over, picking up things. Again, John, talk about the goal of improving overall functionality, not just aesthetics. And hold on, John, I say this to you because, being a bodybuilder, aesthetics are important. And some people go, well, yeah, but John, aesthetics are really important. And you're going, yeah, they are important, but functional strength and functional movement is as, if not more important. So John, this coming from you is going to hold a lot of water. Talk about the idea of functional strength, less about aesthetic appearance. John Anderson.
Well, many people will say, I don't squat. And get older on the way to the toilet? Of course you don't. Well, we need to teach you to get up and down off the toilet efficiently as you go that. So as soon as you put it into a framework that shows them that the exercises they're avoiding, they're going to need in their life as they get older, minds will open.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Marty, how about you, man? When you talk with your clients about functional strength, what do you lean into with that? Some of the basics.
I'm big on injury prevention, like someone made a response to one of my videos the other day saying, they're not going to stop learning how to walk. They're not going to forget how to walk pretty much. And I'm like, it's not for now. Yes, you know how to walk now, but it's for later on in life. 60, 70, right? You want to do the work now so you can avoid problems then. And that's what I was trying to get at. But I'm big on squats, deadlifts, push-ups, pull-ups, movements that you actually use in your everyday life, So that's going to help you in the long run. And as we get older, we lose muscle, atrophy kicks in. And as you get older, you lose muscle faster. You lose muscle rapidly. So definitely functional movements just for injury prevention and to stay healthy, stay functional. You don't want to fall down the steps and now you're done for.
Yes. Well, and we talk about it, Marty and John, right? As we get older, you bust that hip. You bust in the hip, you probably bust in life 15 months after that. What's the stats after you bust your hip, John? Isn't it about 15 months later you die? I think it is.
Yeah, it increases a lot.
Most people, when they're older and they break a hip, their independence is gone. And once that independence is gone, then life changes and they just kind of do it another way.
Exactly. Gentlemen, you're Mornings in So Nation. You're tuning into Mornings in the Lab with Keith C. Marty Fit and John Anderson and producer Christina Flynn. We are here talking about tips to get yourself going as an entrepreneur, fitness tips, nutrition tips to get your day started. And we always talk about the gym. We always talk about the kitchen. We always talk about the food being put into our body. But it seems like over the last few years, especially as wearables have hit the market and more of us are wearing them, there's finally this emphasis around rest and recovery and sleep as the ultimate recovery tool. Again, starting with you, John Anderson, talk about the power and the benefits of sleep around weight loss and recovery, and how that stacks up against being in the gym or being in the kitchen. Lean into sleep, John Anderson.
Sleep is so important. I tell my clients, if you have a bad night's sleep, you don't get to go to the gym. So sleep is at the top of the list. Your nutrition is at the top of the list. Training is at the bottom. So sleep, nutrition, training. If you don't sleep well, you don't get to go to the gym. You lose your privilege.
Oh, talk about that with me. So hold on. I've never heard this from this point of view before, John. I want to lean into this. So your order of importance is sleep, food, and then gym.
100%.
Oh, keep talking about that, man, because Marty, I see your ears perk up too, because I'm going to suggest that much trainers, much folks in the industry, you know, and MC Quinlan, if you're leaning into this, I'd like your comments as well. But I'm really intrigued by John coming at this first with sleep foundation. John, keep going with that, pal.
Well, you've got majority of people never make any progress, and it's because they're putting training as the number one on the totem pole. So they're focused in the wrong spot. In business, as soon as you find what works, you put your energy there and you blow it up. You stop looking at the shit that's not working. You put your effort into that's going to give you the biggest return. Well, you got to understand where to invest your effort when it comes to your health and fitness. Number one, sleep. Number two, your food and eating proper foods. And number three is your exercise. So I repeat, if you don't sleep well, you lose your privilege to go to the gym.
It's incredible, eh, Marty? Because, you know, every fitness magazine, TV shows, culture, we celebrate the aesthetic appearance of how somebody looks. And then we equate that to them doing barbells or push-ups or bench press, right? You know, because I guess, Marty, it's not sexy showing a picture of Marty sleeping. That's really what it comes down to, right, Marty? That's really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah, a lot of people, I tell my clients this all the time, like, you don't burn fat at the gym. You burn fat when you take your butt to bed at night, right? So that's important. You can't stay up watching Netflix. You can't stay up watching the Lakers. You can't stay up watching your favorite football team, you know. Maybe watch till halftime, but you have to sleep if you're serious about your results. That's when the body changes. That's when your muscles repair, and that's when the fat burns.
Yeah. Tina, I see you nodding. Lean into that with me, Tina.
It's so true, and it's something I fought for a very long time. I think a lot of people can resonate with this. It's like your day is controlled at so many different steps. You want to take that control back, and you tend to do it with time. It's like, this is my time. I'm going to take this time to do what I got to do and chill. And you don't realize how much of an impact that has on your next day. And if you're an entrepreneur, your ability to eventually control your own time, which is what we're all working toward.
Yes. Hey, John, when you're advising your customers and your clients and you're talking about the power of sleep, John Anderson, are you saying to them work backwards from the hours you need? So are you saying, hey, Keith, when you plan your day, when you plan your 24 hours, are you saying to me, if I was your client, hey, Keith, how many hours of sleep do you need? And I say, well, John, I think I function well on 6, 7. Okay, so you're saying, okay, Bill, let's start your day with 6, 7, take them out the window, and then work backwards from there. Is that how you work with your clients, or you're always starting with that first question is, let's talk about your sleep first, John?
There we go. First thing we got to talk about is your sleep hygiene. Do you have a set bedtime? Do you have a cold, dark place to sleep? This is the stuff we start off with. Then how much sleep you're going to need is really based upon how tight we get your circadian rhythm. You might only sleep 6 hours and wake up feeling really rested because you're sleeping more efficiently. Your sleep hygiene will help you sleep more efficiently.
Yes. And we talk about sleep, we talk about HRV, right? So you get up after your sleep, you look at your stats, and you ask yourself, did you get some good rest? And off you go to the races with your heart rate variability. Your heart rate variability is good. You get some good sleep, you move on with that. So let's continue the chat here. And Jimmy, we're going to get to the creator spotlight in just a quick second here. It's funny because finally, Apple Watch, for those of you that wear Apple Watch, with the next update, is actually celebrating with this idea of celebrate your rest and recovery, right? As wearables have overtaken the market in the last, 10 years, it's been pushing you to close your rings. There's now this movement amongst the wearable industry, which is, okay, let's celebrate rest and recovery. Let's encourage you to sleep, get better. Let's encourage that recovery. So that you have muscle recovery and to maintain that strength and endurance. So we're talking. Go ahead, Marty.
I wanted to add one thing. I want to hear your perspective on this too, John. So let's say you got a client, they're getting 8 hours without working out, right? And you tell them like, hey, you can get 7 and take your butt to the gym in the morning. How do you feel about that? Because I've had that rebuttal as well.
So you're saying they're sleeping 8 hours. I guess the question would be, is it good sleep? Are they waking up rested? Just because you're in bed 8 hours doesn't mean you slept well. So that's the question. Is it good sleep, or was just laying there on your damn phone like most people do?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, and that can be measured, right? So again, I look at my watch, not admittedly as much as Lauren pays attention to her watch from a sleep perspective, but we have those stats available to us now. And as John said, it's measuring the quality of sleep, right? I got a good sleep last night. You guys can probably tell by my energy last night, but I got a good sleep. Sure, when the alarm went off, I was like, oh man, it's already 4.
You must
right?
get good sleep every night.
Yeah. What's that, Marty?
You must get good sleep every night.
Some nights not. Some mornings it's an act. Some mornings it's like, okay, I guess I got to be on stage for the next hour and a half before I can go have a nap. But I'm trying to get better with my sleep all the time because I know the power of it. And I think one of the problems, John and Marty, we talk about with sleep is that humans are so conditioned to days. 24-hour day. It's today's Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. We talked about this with food, right? When the reality is, if you're getting 8 hours of sleep or 7 hours of sleep, you don't have a full day. Right? You got really 16, 17 hours. And if you got time with your kids and time with your family, if you're going to go spend an hour in the gym, man, you don't have a lot of time left in the day if you're living life properly. Right? So, okay, Jimmy, Marty, Johnny, let's do this. Let's go to the creator spotlight, and we're going to keep the conversation happening here around mindsets, sustained success, and we're going to wrap the show up by the bottom of the hour because John Anderson has to rock and roll, and we're going to get going here by the bottom of the second hour here. But what we're going to do now is we are going to shift our move. We're going to shift the attention to a part in the show we do every single day. It happens on the 55, 57-minute mark. I'm running a little bit late this morning, where we take a big light and we like to shine it on somebody on the LinkedIn platform as we expand ourselves into different platforms and say, hey, I like the work this human's doing. I like what they're doing out there in the world. I like the kind of content they're creating, and I like the attitude they bring. I like what they're doing. So last few days, we've been celebrating a bunch of creators, and today's another one. And today I want to, Marty, I'm going to get my old buttons here set up. Today we are going to, Jimmy, I got the vertical feed here. We are going to shine a light on somebody who joins us, not officially, but comes from Dubai. And I just got to click something here. There we go. So today's creator spotlight is, let's see here. Boom. It's Christelle Bordoni. So Christelle Bordoni empowers CEOs to lead on LinkedIn through premium strategy and content creation, personal branding, and lead generation. So I wanted to shine the light on Christelle today because she, I leaned onto her About page, and she's been very active in my feed. She creates great content, great insights, clearly a leader. When I flipped onto her About page, I was startled by this. How do I get more customers? How do I get my customers to buy more of my product? How do I get my customers coming back time and time again? These are 3 most critical questions for every business, and Christelle dedicated years to uncovering the answers. So whether you're struggling to stand out on LinkedIn or aiming to position yourself as an industry authority, craft compelling copy, Tina talks about storytelling. Christelle writes copy that grabs attention. She attracts opportunities instead of chasing them. If you're looking for somebody to help you evolve that, Christelle Bordoni can help you. What does she do? She builds your personal brand. She helps you find real leads on LinkedIn. She helps you create content that people care about, and she makes your LinkedIn work for your business. She's got over 23,000 followers. We don't know if they're fake or real. Joking aside, Christelle. But she's helped hundreds of businesses make millions. And Christelle, if you tuned into the earlier part of the show, we're having some fun with that. Christelle's helped hundreds of businesses make millions more. Now she's offering to help you. She will sit down and get clear on what you do. She'll help you make more money with less work. She'll turn your team into great marketers. And I like that because a lot of companies, and I believe I'm going to speak with Christelle here. A lot of companies like, oh my God, my employees are on LinkedIn. They're looking for jobs. No. Your employees might be your biggest ambassadors on LinkedIn.
Your employees might be your biggest marketers across social networks. Celebrate your employees, and Christelle can help you do that by reaching more people with your message. Imagine a LinkedIn presence that attracts attention and generates significant engagement and business opportunities. That is what Christelle Bordoni does on LinkedIn. And if you're looking to connect with her, I invite you to check her out on the page. You can become a reference in your market with LinkedIn through the power of Christelle Bordoni. She is our creator spotlight today. Christina, looking at you, she's in the personal branding space. You're in the personal branding space. What do you think of some of the stuff Christelle's doing?
I think it's great. And I think what our audience can take away from this too is just the clarity with which she is presenting her own message, which then obviously shows you she knows what she's talking about, right? So when you're trying to build out your own LinkedIn page, instead of spending time on the website, use your LinkedIn page as a landing page. And that's exactly what Christelle is doing here. Really clear focus on what she does, for who, and how it works. And that's going to bring people into her inbox. So kudos to you, Christelle.
That's awesome. And Christina, we've talked about this week about people rushing to get their website started. I got to start a business. I got a great website started. Tina, what would somebody do instead of getting a website started?
They would spend time doing work, creating content, acting.
Exactly.
Websites later. I do not have a website, and I have clients that come through LinkedIn only. That's my landing page. That's where I spend my time.
There you go. So you're coming here for tips today. Don't spend a ton of time on platforms building a website from scratch. That is probably the worst mistake you can make in 2024. Do not spend any time today or tomorrow. Sorry, Squarespace. Sorry, Wix. Sorry, every website platform on the market. I guess we're not getting sponsors from them, Marty.
Thanks, Steve. Good job.
John's like, oh, really? But no, do not build a website. You're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. You actually are. I'd go to Instagram. I'd go to LinkedIn. I'd go to Threads. I'd go to where the humans are and start communicating, creating content there. Why you would go to an empty field, why you go build a building in an empty field, and why you go spend a bunch of money trying to get a bunch of people to your empty field is beyond me. And no, that's just the guy who's talking from the social media industry. I might have done a few things in that industry who knows a little bit about it. So I would invite you to think about why you might want to consider building a website today, or just calling on Christina or Christelle and just optimizing your LinkedIn profile. Might be something you might want to consider. All right, coming in 3 minutes after the hour here, Mornings in the Lab with Keith C. Marty, John Anderson, the only morning live show that gets your day started. We stream on LinkedIn, X, YouTube. Our reason, we get out of bed early to help you guys get your day going, to help you guys not hit the snooze button. Since I met John Anderson, I'm like, I can't hit the snooze button because John's face shows up. I'm like, oh, if I hit the snooze, I'm going to disappoint the guy. So, we're all about not hitting the snooze button here in the lab. We're here to help you guys get you going. And here we're talking today about tips and tricks to get yourself going as an entrepreneur. Johnny, Marty, let's talk about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset for sustained success. Talk about challenges. People have this. People love challenges, Marty. Are you a fan of challenges? 9-day challenge, 7-day challenge, 30-day challenge. And then, John, I'm going to come to you the same question. Talk about the challenge. And
nope.
Yes. Talk about that, Marty.
Nope.
No, I'm a fan of longevity because what happens after the challenge?
Yes.
Like, that's amazing. You did the challenge, but if it doesn't change your habits long term, you're eventually going to go back to what you were doing before the challenge.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I focus on changing lifestyles, habits, mindsets. And you mentioned growth mindset, right? Always looking to get better, always looking to grow versus fixed, where your mind is made up. I can't lift that. I'm not strong enough. My family has the fat gene. Whatever the excuse is, some of the most ridiculous excuses, that's a fixed mindset. So, focus on the longevity and not going back to the bad habits and what got you in that situation.
Yeah. John, the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think first off, we got to kind of, as you know me, I like to simplify things. Let's get this down to kind of the brass tacks. The whole idea behind a challenge is flawed, just like a New Year's resolution. Going to what Marty said, it's about making something happen for the big picture. So it's people have to understand that, We've got to get rid of this really short, okay, I'm going to do something for a short period of time, something that we can't maintain. We need to put rhythms and patterns into our lives that are very maintainable. And, you know, I like to stack habits. You just continue to stack. And then the idea of needing a challenge or a New Year's resolution, it becomes something that just doesn't make sense in your life.
Yes. Marty, people who want to get their fitness routines or fitness lifestyle started may just jump into the one size all. I'm just going to do that. Talk about why generic fitness advice often fails and why leaning into somebody like yourself or John Anderson or Christina on the personal branding side or Christelle on the personal branding side, our creator spotlight today. Talk about one size versus specific advice.
Absolutely. A lot of the generic fitness isn't supported by science. So if we're being honest, people get into fitness because they want to change. They want a result. They want a weight loss. They want muscle building, right? And the generic fitness is not necessarily going to provide that. And you got to look at, you know, like I said, what is the result I want? So if I want to sell a company, if I want to exit a company, I'm going to go talk to John and Keith. I'm not going to talk to someone who barely getting their company off of the ground. Or who failed 2 companies. I know that might be part of the process, but he hasn't sold one yet. So I'm going to listen to John and Keith before. So listen to people who have done it. And, you know, a lot of people get offended by my posts when I talk about the generic fitness stuff. And to me, in my opinion, those people just aren't serious and they don't really want the result that bad. It's the truth. So what result do you want at the end of the day?
And I think that, Marty, it's like the entrepreneur, right? Now I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't want to get started. No, well, just then you're not really serious about it. Johnny, talk about the power of trial and error. So as you've been on your fitness journey, I know you've been lifting longer than Marty's been around, as we joke around here. Nope. Trial and error, and people in the fitness. People who are embracing fitness want it to happen fast, but in reality, you need to learn to enjoy the process. You need to enjoy trialing. You need to enjoy failing. You need to enjoy that. Okay, Keith, try this for 7 days. We're going to look at it and then try something else for 7 days. John, talk about experimentation during the fitness journey as an entrepreneur, business person.
Think of it like this. It's ultimately, there's layers to this. There's the foundation of this whole journey, and then there's the part that you want me to talk about, which is the experimenting. The foundation is the showing up. It's getting your sleep. It's eating right. Once these things are laid down, the foundation is there, then you can kind of twist and turn and play with these different options, and you can really get some massive results. But people want to experiment on, they want to experiment on these trial and errors, but they haven't put the foundation in place. So it's just a waste of time. You got to start with the foundation, which is the basics. Once those are in place, then the trial and error actually is a massively helpful tool. But without the foundation, the experiment doesn't mean squat.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And John, I want to stay with you. So we've talked about sleep. We've talked about nutrition. We've talked about hitting the gym. Often mental health is not looked upon when it comes to fitness because we can't see it. We can't touch it. We can't see the 6-pack. We can't see that Keith slept for 8 hours. We can't see that Keith did the 250 on the bench. John, talk about the Marty, I can bench 250, man. Don't be noping me on that one.
I believe you.
Johnny, talk about the overlooked importance of mental health and fitness, and from your point of view, why we need to lean and talk more about that. John Anderson.
Oh my God, this is great. See, what people are missing in this whole deal, if they think fitness, they're thinking physical. We're talking is actually mental, then physical. I always make the joke, you have your workout. Well, part of your workout is to work out all the dumb shit that runs around in your mind, which is part of the mental health we're talking about. People need to realize that your fitness is here first, then here. Everybody gets focused on here, leaves this part behind. You show up and you get the job done because it feels good.
Yeah. Marty, talk about that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Marty.
Now, I was going to say, I talk about this a lot with my clients and on my podcast, how fitness gets a bad rap, right? You want to do something positive to get the negative thoughts off your mind. I'm going to go lift. I'm going to go do some cardio. And people act like that's a problem, but it's accepted. Let me go to the bar because I'm not feeling right. Let me go sit in this drive-through for 30 minutes because I got some trauma. I got some stuff I'm dealing with. I'm pissed off. And that makes absolutely no sense. So not only are you making yourself unhealthier, that stuff isn't good for your brain. You're going to be probably more impulsive and make a terrible decision after that. And so it doesn't make sense. And the mental benefits of fitness, they need to be highlighted more opposed to just the aesthetic part.
I think so. I'm glad we're talking about this, gentleman, because I think I'm going to suspect, Christina, you're a marketer. Let's lean back to you for a second here. But I suspect we don't talk enough about sleep or mental fitness because it's not sexy, is it? Because you can't really. It's not sexy to look at from a marketing or selling perspective, is it, Christina? Right?
I mean, I think so. It's like, as you said, there's very few physical results that we can turn to say this is the transformation you're trying to get to. It's a much broader story, and that's a little less tangible.
I think it's often what it is. Which allows me to segue to this one. Again, John, back to you, pal, before I go to you, Marty. But burnout. Entrepreneurs who are starting their business leaders that are going through their business, grinding 16, 18, 20 hours a day. Burnout is real. Overtraining without mental recovery can lead to burnout. Overtraining in the office can lead to recovery, reducing overall well-being. John, again, you've gone through many experiences in your life, so I'm looking at you, pal. Talk about burnout and how you know when you're like, oh, I'm feeling burned out right now. I need to pause.
Well, first thing is you've got to have your sleep and your nutrition and some level of exercise in place so you're taking care of your vehicle, because the burnout, when it comes down to burnout mentally, physically, because you're not caring for yourself. So if you're caring for yourself and you're doing everything you're supposed to be, you're going to be cognizant enough to have the awareness to realize, you know what, I'm pushing right now, but I'm not getting any traction. So I need to take a little bit of time to basically time off. I need a rest. I need whatever. But if you're not taking care of yourself first, then the whole thing is just a shit show. You're not going to have the cognizance or the awareness. You're just working yourself into this position of not having a clue how to get out of it. Or I guess a better way to put it is, if you don't take care of yourself first, you're not going to be the potent entrepreneur or whatever it is you're doing. Really successful entrepreneurs understand they've got to take care of themselves first everywhere. And that's how the whole thing shakes down.
That's absolutely true. And then Marty, the pitfalls of that though, is that constantly chasing self-improvement with no clear goal can lead to a never-ending cycle of dissatisfaction. I got to think, Marty, you've had clients come through your business. There are less brunches, more crunches, who they get on this path, and maybe during their journey, they recognize they don't have a goal, or their goal has changed, and it leads to quitting. It leads to high dissatisfaction. Talk about the whole idea of chasing self-improvement with no clear goal and why the power of the goal is most important. But then, Marty, once you achieve it, recognizing the goal is actually about walking with your kids when you're 70 or 80. The goal is not actually about trying to get the six-pack when you're 32.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of comes back to that whole conversation we had about purpose.
Yes.
Right? And you kind of, when you center your goals around your purpose, that'll keep you on the right track. And sometimes when you're chasing the shiny object, which could be the six-pack or the bigger butt or the bigger chest, that's not a strong enough goal to keep you pushing for a long time. Because what happens when you get there?
Yes. Well,
again, it's going to stop working out and then go back to where you started. What happens when you get there?
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
Definitely.
Johnny, so Deuce comes in with a comment here. Thanks for the comment there, Deuce 13737. If you don't rest, you create cortisol, which is a stress hormone. John, we don't talk enough about cortisol on this show. Lean into the negatives about cortisol and educate Business Athlete Nation about cortisol, how we want to eliminate it, how we want to run from it, and what we can do to, move cortisol down in our body. John Anderson.
Well, that comes all down to the brain. I mean, what comes down to it, here's an really interesting concept. Every thought a person has is accompanied by a brain chemical. So if you're all thinking about all the problems you got, you're thinking the world's going to come to an end, that chemist that's brewing up the cortisol is just pumping you full of that shit, which you don't want. When you control your thoughts, you control your life. So you have the ability to take that chemist in your brain that's mixing up the cortisol, stuff a sock in his mouth, and basically say, just knock that shit off. I'm going to feed my brain with positive thoughts. Then the other chemist, which gives you the oxytocin, the dopamine, and the serotonin, starts pumping your blood full of the good shit. Now you're happy, you're fulfilled, you're more productive. And it really comes down to understanding that everybody has the ability to control that cortisol with having the proper thought process.
And Johnny, that's like having the two dudes on your shoulders, right? You got the cortisol dude and you got the oxytocin you got the other dude over here, right? So what you're saying is that they're battling each other. But if you're doing all the good things, the endorphin guy is going to always battle the cortisol guy out, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, and here's the beautiful thing is that they both can't work. So it's like you can't be upset and grateful at the same moment. So you feed these chemists with thoughts. You put a negative thought in your mind, the cortisol chemist wakes up. You put a good thought in your mind, the dopamine chemist wakes up. So you get to control this by what are you consuming? What are you thinking? And you have complete control of this, but you've got to practice. It's a practice. Every day you've got to register. What am I thinking? Am I allowing myself to go down that negative rabbit hole and get myself all jacked up with these negative chemicals?
Yes. We're here talking about how to start your day like a successful entrepreneur, fitness and mindset tips with Keith Bilous, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, and producer Christina Flynn. We're working our way towards the end of our conversation here today. And really what we're offering you guys is as you get your day started, what we believe here in the lab is you got to start your day with yourself first, right? Get that rest, right? Get yourself into the gym, get your sleep, habit stack. Right? Those little things you do every single day is going to help you start your day like a successful entrepreneur. Right? If you really, and I'll leave you guys with this. If you're sitting there listening to me right now and you're thinking, I want to start a business, or I'm thinking about start a business, or I'm in the midst of starting one, I would invite you to call up your fitness guy. Call John Anderson, call Marty, get onto a program, go run a marathon, go trek a mountain, go and commit to a highly intense fitness program. And when I talk fitness, mental, nutrition, the whole kit caboodle, that is going to absolutely help you with your business you're about to get into. So that would be some advice that I would offer you if you guys are ready to go and get into the idea of business. But that's what we're going to lean into here. That's how to start your day with fitness, successful entrepreneur fitness and mindset tips here mornings in the lab with Keith C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, as we wrap it up here today. Johnny? You going to say something, John? No, you're good. All right. So we are going to work towards wrapping up. John?
No, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. So we're going to work towards
trying to follow what you're saying.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to work towards wrapping the show up today. Tomorrow, we got Peter Lazowski joining us in the mornings in the lab. We got another big conversation. We're going to talk business and entrepreneurship and so forth with Peter Lazowski. He's going to join the show. He's a former Nike guy, a former radio guy, bunch of great businesses he has started along the way as well. So Peter Lazowski is going to join us today. But as we work towards wrapping up the show, I want to go back to the beginning, guys. If you are about to embark on a branding experience for yourself as a human, you're looking for a new job, you're looking to, change jobs or get on your own, you might want to consider building your personal brand. you might want to consider tuning into today's show at noon Eastern time with Christina Flynn, producer Flynn. She has a live conversation happening today about the story engine system to discover and share your authentic personal story with the help of AI. So I'd invite you to tune in with Christina, 12 o'clock Eastern time, happening on LinkedIn. She's going to deliver a 60-minute workshop. Free. Christina, what's it cost?
$3.99.
$3.99. There you go. Just like our show, Mornings in the Lab. Like it, comment on it, share it with your friends. We give you free advice, free content to get your day going. And hey, get it now while it's free, because one day we might charge you for this shit. True story. Oh yeah. Hey, you got to pay to get into bed with Anderson. You got to pay to get into bed with Bilous and Marty and Flynn. That just might happen one day. But right now, it is free content here coming to you live from YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and so forth. So, guys, we're going to wrap it up, man. We're going to wrap it up today. We're going to continue our discussion tomorrow. Oh, and Adam came in with, here we go. Adam, I started yesterday with Marty's 3 exercise program. I have rugby legs, and I'm not enjoying the squats. There we go, Adam. There we go.
Let's get it.
Very nice, Adam.
That is awesome, man. You know what I love about this is Adam joined the show a few weeks back tuned in, and he leaned into it, and I'm suspecting he enjoyed the conversation. I'm expecting he enjoyed the content. Adam, we appreciate you, man. You've come back and now you've shared your journey with us. This is what we're trying to do here. So, I lean into this and I love seeing that. So Adam, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for doing that. And there you go. You guys want some great stuff? Connect with Marty, connect with John. They'll help you on your journey. And if you want some business advice, come knock on my door. Right? I started a company, I sold it, I made a few bucks along the way. If you're an entrepreneur who's like, I want to sell my company, come knock on my door. I'd love to help you. If you're an entrepreneur who's looking to get started, come knock on my door. I love to help you. That's what we do here in the lab. 8 o'clock Eastern time, Monday to Friday. We go live with conversation, tips, advice, content that gets your ass out of bed, content that helps you be accountable to reach your biggest, most audacious goals. Lotus Flowers with the fire. Thank you for joining us today. Enzo, thanks for joining us today. Johnny, we're gonna go around the table. John, what's on the docket today, man? What do you got going on today up there in Lake Tahoe?
Well, I think we're going to go for a pretty massive hike up to a smaller lake, and that's going to be fun. But I'm going to actually get my training session in. Before I do that, we're actually going to go out to the gym today. So it's going to be a fun day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Marty, what about you, pal?
Couple meetings. I got shoulders today. Getting my braids redone.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What about you, Tina? Besides the big presentation today, what do you got going on today as well?
I'm focused on that, and then really I got some mindfulness and meditation that I got to get in today. So that's where I'm really going to focus up here today.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, I like that. Okay, so Business Athlete Nation, Christina put it on the table. We're going to hold her publicly accountable to this because that's what we do here. We love that she's leaning into mindfulness and meditation. So tomorrow on the show, we're going to ask the question, Christina. How did it go over? Because that is what we do here on the show. We want to help you be accountable. If that's a goal of yours, we want to help you achieve it. So that's awesome. Thank you for putting that out there. I'm going to go crush some shoulders today myself. And then, Nation, we're continuing to focus on the business side of this thing. We're going to keep growing the business here in the lab and continue to share it with all of you. So we're going to get out of here, say goodbye. Anderson has some big commitments today. He's got to get off to the gym. Christina's got some big commitments today. And hey, Marty's got to get his braids done. And I got to rock and roll. So you guys have a good one. Listen, like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Mornings in the Lab, share it with your friends. Invite people to come welcome us 8 o'clock Eastern time right here in the lab. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, C. Marty Fit, John Anderson, and of course, producer Flynn. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, where's that sound effect? No, that's not the one either. No, that's not the one either. Maybe it's this one. There we go.